A term I learned while studying psychology is congruence. It stuck with me because I believe that every adult in civilized society is met face to face with their own personal congruence at some point. In general, congruence is defined as agreement, harmony, compatibility. To put it simple, it means that two things match, that they're the same. You put the same finger from each hand together, most likely they're congruent, they're the same, right? Now in the workplace, an example of congruence would be the employees' goals matching with the employer's goals. So the employees might have a goal to make decent money, make good money, present themselves in a professional way, and provide great customer service. The employer might have goals to provide superior customer service, hire exceptional employees, and they happen to pay well. Well, there's going to be congruence there, and the workplace is going to probably flow a lot smoother because everybody's happy, right? Now, in math, figures or objects are congruent if they're the same size and shape. Two triangles, if they're the same shape and have the same size, they're congruent. Psychology, the definition is a bit different. It's basically referring to the gap between the real you and the ideal you, who you are and who you see yourself as becoming, the best version, right, in your own mind. Now, congruence is broke down into two different categories: low congruence and high congruence. In low congruence, there's going to be a big gap in between the actual you and who you want to become. For instance, there might be someone who sees themselves as a respectable doctor one day, but at the present moment, they're struggling in undergrad, they're partying too much, they're drinking a lot, they're turning in assignments in late, they're succumbing to distractions. Thus, they're jeopardizing their chances to get into medical school, right? So there's going to be a low congruence there, and it's going to cause an issue. Now, with high congruence, the same situation with the student who wants to be a respected doctor one day. They're grinding, they're putting distractions aside, they're studying extra, they just really putting the work in to do what they need to do, and they're getting results. They're going to be a high congruence there. And how does congruence affect us? When there's low congruence, there's a bit of unease, uncertainty, indecisiveness, and even anxiety at times. With high congruence, you're more confident, peace of mind, clarity, and more decisive because you're on the right track, right? And there's also a type of emotional congruence, and it's dealing with aligning our feelings, our actions, thoughts, principles, behaviors, morals, and spirituality. For instance, any two of these can be out of order and it can cause issues. For instance, someone who's always complaining about their job, they hate their job, they can't stand going. Every time it's Monday morning and it's time to clock in, they got a stomach ache. But they're never looking for a new job. So there's going to be low congruence because your actions aren't lining up with your feelings, or your actions aren't lining up with your thoughts. You think you hate your job, you feel like you hate your job, but you're not acting to support those thoughts and feelings, trying to find another gig, right? Overall, I think we need congruence on a larger scale as a group, on a widespread scale. But first, let me tell you how to raise your personal congruence. First, you have to be self-aware. You have to be aware of your internal state. Who do I want to be? You have to get that. And why? Is it internal? Is it some driving force in you? Is it self-gratifying? Is it a passion? Is it your purpose? And are you genuinely interested in becoming this person? Or are you trying to please others, live up to others' expectations, and it's coming from an external source? You're never going to be happy like that, right? So that's the first step, is just being more aware of what you want to become and why. Then are you willing to put the work in, right? Everything takes work, nothing easy. So you have to take the necessary steps which leads to the third point. You need a goal with concrete steps, and it applies to anything. And one little example, if you want to lose 20 pounds, right? Some steps to get to that goal might be signing up for a gym, doing cardio, replacing chips and sweets with multi-grain bars, fruits, vegetables, and nuts, right? Yeah, you just want to make concrete steps to get to where you want to be. And as far as the widespread congruence, the macro congruence, we supposed to be kings and queens, right? So the conduct must align with the title, right? Kings and queens don't look to other people to get them out of situations or solve their problems. We at a point where we don't need anybody. You know, we're in a situation we in, but luckily we have the capacity to rule the world. So we saw what happened in 2020. Our whole world got shook. It made us put things in perspective, family, what's important, time, everything like that. Many people handled it well, some people didn't, and some people didn't even make it. And this stuff is still going on. One thing we can't deny is that we headed towards transition. And some of us, we don't know if it's evil or good. Some of us feel like it's evil. But guess what? Evil can be used for good, just like good can be used as evil, right? So we're going to flip it around. We're going to take responsibility for our own actions. We're going to stop dwelling in the past, and we're going to look towards the future and right now. But we don't have to wait for the future to have our greatness. We can have it right now. We got enough brains, enough abilities here right now. Like Dr. King and Malcolm X, they were brilliant. They deserve to be revered. But we have many people on earth right now who can exceed their impact because, number one, we can build off of what they did. Number two, we have access to information at the tip of a finger. Number three is that we can reach people like this now, you know. So it's not comparing yourself to them, but they did what they did. We respect it. We here now. We gonna stop looking to other folks to solve our problems, looking for them to sing kumbaya with us. We don't need nobody. We need to get to the point where people coming to us to, you know what I'm saying, advance themselves, and we can do that. I think they got the right people. So we moving from the present forward, my people, and we got the juice now.